All right, all right, all right. Well, well, well. We're back. You know who it is. David Lorenzo Glover, aka C2, the controversial counselor, and also my co-host Herb Lewis, back for another broadcast on StreamYard in the Counselor's Corner. Last week we had another great show with panel guests, and we discussed attractiveness in women, the easy way out. But tonight we're going to focus on the topic open dating, the pros and cons. And of course, we have other essential talking points. So you know how it goes down here. We might get on the talking point, and then that may lead to other conversations. And I'm not one to follow um, any scripts. So hence, controversial counselor. I got to throw a little fire out there. So I'm not going. Whatever the conversation ends up being, sometimes is off course, but that's okay because everything. I believe every conversation is meaningful. All right. So the other meats and potatoes, the five remaining essential talking points. Number one, he tells you to move on with your life because you're still young and deserve happiness due to his medical condition. Do you go or do you stay? Uh, Number two, modern society, the tools we're using to destroy it. Number three, when a guy likes all your pics on a daily basis and all you ever say is thanks, does that mean you have no damn interest in him? Number four, this was on last week's agenda, but we never got to it, so we're putting it back on there. Trauma response and trauma informed care. And number five, Kevin Kelly, the owner of True Kitchen and Cocktails. Was he wrong the way he addressed his customers? And if you're familiar with that, that's the situation where the guy owner in I think Dallas had the restaurant lounge, but I don't know if it's a lounge like cocktail restaurant atmosphere and had some women in there twerking and carrying on, and he pretty much gave them ripped him a new one, gave him his piece of his mind and his establishment, and people have been coming back as far as that, stating he was wrong and he should have handled it a different way. So we'll go deeper into that. And finally, stay seated for the Can You Solve Herb's Riddle for the $20 Cash App stimulus package. Yes, she is back. Amy Dussel Maddox, the six-time champ, is here to defend her title. She will have many people coming for her. Throw your name in the pot and we shall see. So we're here tonight. Everybody that joined, Lynette, Tina, Marcia, Ebony, thanks for joining me tonight in the StreamYard. And I know it may be tough for some of you, especially the local folks, because and when I mean local, as far as my hometown, Niagara Falls, Buffalo, because the Buffalo Bills are playing on Monday night. So some of you may be kind of going back and forth. I understand. Um, I really ain't in the football mood right now. My Steelers just took an L, so but I'm okay with that because I didn't expect them to go undefeated anyway. They just haven't been playing no balanced football, so that's what happened. When you don't have balance, I like to make parallels. When you don't have balance in your life, it throws everything else off, and that's the way they've been playing with no balance, heavy on the pass, no running game, recipe for disaster. All right, what's good, Herb? Savita just joined us. How you doing? Talk to me, brother. What's going on?
Man, one foot in front of the other, man. Yeah, I keep the journey going forward, man. That's the only thing I know how to do, despite whatever happens. Um, I'm there for better or for worse. But this is this has been just in terms of the social fabric of America. It's been a tumultuous year, man. I mean, COVID has been the cherry on top. But I mean, you look at just the election, uh, the dissension between humans, worldwide almost it seems. So 2021 is going to be a very interesting year, man. I know we have the Dallas situation in there. But there's something new that's unfolded. And I don't know how many people have actually got wind of it. And this gentleman's name I've mentioned before, and his name is Kevin Samuels. Now, people are mischaracterizing him as as a dating consultant. He is not. He is a corporate image consultant, and I've asked people repeatedly to go listen to his show without any judgment, without reservation, or without anything, and just listen to what he's telling people. So, and I'll set this up. He was on a 15-minute interview with I can say she's middle-aged. She's 35. Native Black American female who's a single mother with a 13-year-old son. Now, she earns well for herself. She owns her own business and she brings in over $100,000. And she's looking for a man that's similarly yoked. Kevin got into his usual, Q&A with people he does. And to make a longer story, a shorter story, he's trying to delve into some things, and he's coming to find out that she's not what a man wants based on her physicality. And this is something we discussed last week. I don't know if we actually hit this particular note, but the fake eyelashes, the synthetic hair, excessive makeup and things of that nature. And he told her, because he asked her, what does she rank herself in terms of physical attractiveness in her face on a scale of 10? She said 5, and he took that and used that to say that go find somebody average. And she just wouldn't listen and wouldn't take any information was given her. So he got to the point where he got fed up and he told her to get the F off his phone. Now, a lot of people thought that was too much. But here's the question that I want people to just think about as the show progresses. How does an individual communicate to somebody who is being stubborn and obstinate? That's what I want people to think about, as we progress in the show.
Interesting. Well, I'm gonna since Savita's on here, whatever, might as well pick on you.
Really?
Yeah, might as well. Hey.
Right. All right. Well, good evening, everyone. Thank you for allowing me to join you guys' show. Because this is what a vision we coming in also with our our own different way of thinking as well too, from a woman's aspect. And so now your question as far as now what you want me to answer.
I said, at what point does a man have to say something to somebody to the point where they get it before he actually gets to that point of using that type of coarse language?
Well, first of all, in my opinion, no one should ever has to get to that point to have to use that kind of language or have that type of attitude, because apparently somebody's not listening. And so, but there's a way how, especially coming from a male and when you're talking to a female, because we both have different ways of how we receive things and how we understand. Females are emotional. And so dealing with that side of her, he has to know himself so that he will know who he's talking to. Once again, engaging in that conversation, knowing thyself. And so when you know yourself, and as a man, you would know, first of all, that's just disrespect on all different types of level. Hey, sweetie. And that is like
I'll get it together in a second, guys. I don't know if you can hear me, but I can't hear you yet.
Oh, we hear you.
And that is.
Can you hear me?
Yeah, we hear you.
Yeah, we can hear you.
I can't hear you. I'm reading lips right now, but I can't hear you.
But yeah, so anyhow, that is like a disrespect on so many different levels as far as.
I'm going to go out and try to come back in. I'm having issues.
As far as a male having to use that type of language. And then when he, basically addressed whatever the issue was of why he did not want to talk to her, she just should have, accepted it and moved on. That's my opinion.
So when we say, and I know it's a time and place for everything, as far as language, and I think it's the way that you deliver it, but
Mhm.
also has our culture or just this generation or this time, are we just overly too sensitive towards things? As like for me, and I always make parallels to that. Working at the middle school level, high school level, pretty much I did it all as far as that. Um, but every day, kids cussing like truck drivers and stuff like that. Now, most of the time I correct them, but it's been times they came in my office, and if they're upset, they could be cussing up a storm like they grown. That's not something that I'm gonna just lose it or totally get into a power struggle over a kid because they use other choice words. Almost,
Well,
after they calm down and I get them to de-escalate, I probably let them know you could have used other choices of word, or you was heated, or such and such. But I think now we're just overly sensitive to certain things, and it's like ridiculous. Like you can't even look at somebody the wrong way without them becoming too emotional. Like people, like, damn, relax. It's been our our forefathers and our people before have went through way more difficult things than somebody using some foul language. That's just my
mhm.
take.
Well, my thing is this. Well, first of all, when a person has to use such, language, first of all, it's uneducation. You don't have many words in the vocabulary, so that in your vocabulary, so that means that you need to, spruce that up some. And then when it just comes even to a young male, like yourself, like you said, being in the school system and you seeing young, other black males behaving, that's because of what they see in their environment. And so here it is. This is something that has been just repeated inside society, and especially within our, culture, the melatonin, indigo skin tone. Here it is. This is what we basically have been taught. This is what we see. And then here it is. It's other children out there and other people that's out there that don't speak such. And that is because, once again, their environment. And so it depends on, that person. But when it comes to the disrespect and as far as, one wearing emotions and stuff like that, that's why I said one has to get to know themselves, because when you don't know yourself, you know, um, I'm not going to allow no one to disrespect me. And so, male or female. And so, when you come, because if I'm respecting you, first of all, because I respect myself. So I don't, when I go out and when I speak, I'm not opening up my mouth to disrespect you. But if you come at me and you disrespect me, you know, there's times when, Savita has not been nicey nicey. And I'm going to stand and I'm going to say what I have to say and speak up for myself, but it all goes and boils down to environment and how a person was brought up. That's my opinion.
And that's the same thing with respect. Respect is how an individual perceives it. If if someone's ranting and raving and they swearing like that, some people are view it as disrespect, but you may say, hey, I'm used to that. That they weren't really disrespectful to me. But if someone says damn or the basic little simple stuff, and you feel like, oh, just because they said that you're being disrespected,
Mhm.
then some of that just weighs on you. Sometimes you got to just meet people where they at, and
Mhm.
that's just the bottom line. But I think that's a good segue also to Kevin Kelly too. But Sarid, you can you hear us now?
I can hear you now.
Well,
It
I was
was,
going to
we were having issues.
Okay.
Donald was saying, hold on a second. Donald Taylor was saying that he didn't think that that he was harsh and that he had gave her, straight answer based on where she ranked herself. And as far as where she was ranking herself at, from the scale of 1 to 10, and she gave herself a 5. Okay, well then if she knew that she needs some working on, so ain't no
Are you talking about that video with that guy like tearing that woman down?
That's what he's
So
referring to.
when he asked her to rank herself, didn't he say rank yourself between 1 and 10 and don't say 7?
Correct.
He did say that, yeah.
Didn't he tell her don't give herself don't rate herself as a 7?
Hold on. Just to clarify that, Saria, he does that with every female that calls, no exception.
What is that? I don't care.
No.
I have to see that. I can't make a statement. I can't make a statement.
Hold on.
On something I didn't
the
see.
rationale being that 7 is a safe number for women to land on, so that they don't call themselves really attractive. Hold on.
If you're asking somebody a question, how do you ask them the question and then tell them what not to answer?
And I'm trying to give you the reason and the rationale behind it.
Mm-hmm.
The reason he does it is because a lot of women will choose 7 because it's a safe space between being really attractive and not so attractive. He takes that away, and he uses Beyonce as a 7. So that's the comparison scale that he used. This is why I tell people, before people go in and start tearing him down, you have to go listen to his body of work. When you listen to his body of work, you get a better understanding of what he's doing and what he's trying to do. He's not for everyone.
I have a question. I just have a question.
Hold on, sweetie. So now I can hear what you're saying, and just based on what you're saying and not even listening to what he has said, he basically was saying, be honest with yourself.
Yes.
Know yourself, basically.
Yes.
And that's what he was saying. I hear you, and I got that. So based on that, even though, like I said, I still would have to go back and listen to,
No, I encourage people to do that. So you can develop your own opinion. Don't take mine. I'm just clarifying, where he comes from and why. That's all.
Okay, I got you. Okay, go ahead, Sarita.
Here's what I would like to know. Why is it that when we're saying that someone is feeling disrespected, that we need to go and look back at somebody's body of work or anything else? If someone is feeling disrespected by that, then that's just what it is. For me, my question still stands. If a woman rates herself as a 7, if that's how she feels, how do you ask a woman to tell you what she thinks of herself and then limits her answers? I can get what you're saying all day long, but my question still stands, because if a woman honestly thinks that she is a 7, then to take that option away by saying, hey, rank yourself from 1 to 10, but hey, don't choose 7. Now, he didn't go into that explanation that you just went into. So, you know what I'm saying? He didn't care what her thought process was. He didn't break it down like you just attempted to, as to why he says that. He just gave her that directive. And for me, when you ask me a question, you can't give me a limitation on the answer. My answer is my answer, and you should be able to go off of that. Now, if I stick with a safe answer, then say that, hey, did you pick 7 because you were sticking with a safe answer or what? You know what I'm saying? But to ask me a question and then limit my responses, well, that's guiding me. That's guiding me where you want me to go, instead of taking what my opinion about myself is.
So say, for example, if you did feel your 7, then you had the opportunity to say, well, I know you said that don't choose 7, but this is why I'm choosing 7, because of such and such. Or
yes,
so you have opportunities to expand on that.
Yes, we do have that opportunity. But what I'm saying, well, I've made the point. Like, I don't want to go around and round about it. I mean, that's my point. You can't.
You know what the deal is? You know what the deal is?
Limit my answer.
You know what the deal is? Making somebody feel uncomfortable.
Say that again.
Making someone feel uncomfortable, taking away their comfort zone, and say you can't say 7. Now you're feeling uncomfortable.
That's
like,
not
okay, how about?
No, I mean, that's a tactic. I don't gotta agree with it. I wouldn't. For me, that's not a conversation that I would be able to. I don't, because you're guiding me when I'm, that's just my opinion. Don't nobody gotta agree with it. I'm just saying, if I ask you a question, I'm not gonna say, oh, and don't say this and don't say that, because that puts a stigma on your answer. I want to know what your real answer is. Do I want to know your real answer, or do I want to know the answer that I want to know so that I can say what I'm trying to say? I want to know your real answer, so I'm not going to put any stipulations on what your answer can be. So that's for me. That was the first thing in that was a red flag for me.
Well, I guess when you call in somebody's show and it's their platform, they kind of can dictate how they want to run it, and you may have to
I mean,
work
they
yourself
can,
around
but
it.
like you just said, she still had the option. I would have been like, I wouldn't rank myself a 7 anyway. I'm a 10 all day. I don't give a fuck if nobody else believe I'm a 10. I did, I'm there with that. But you know what I'm saying? So that just wouldn't have been if he'd have said, and don't rank yourself a 7, to me, I'd have been, okay, cool, because I wasn't gonna do that no way. I'm a 10. Now where we going?
So,
That's
so,
where my
but
answer
so
would have gone.
by you saying you're a 10, then there's no room for improvement.
That doesn't say there's no room for improvement. Who said that?
Because if
Just
it's on the
because I'm
scale,
a
if
10,
it's on a
because I'm
Richter
open to
scale of one
that's
to
your
10,
interpretation of, hold on.
no,
Again,
hold on, Chief.
we're talking about, no, we're talking about what someone's perception is. If your perception is that a 10 means that person doesn't need any work, that's still your perception. They ask what mine is. I can't give my answer based on what you might think. Now, if someone cares to know what I think, then that would go into them clarifying questions that we always have a thing about. Need to ask that question. But for me, I'm a 10 all
Listen,
day, and I'm a
listen,
10 because I'm willing to learn and willing to grow and all that. So that's just where it is. Don't nobody else got to think they a 10. That's okay.
listen.
It,
If somebody tell you on a
y'all got
scale
to
of
think
0 to 10, if they tell you 0 to 10 and you say you're a 10, it's safe to say that you flawless. There's
it's not
nothing for
safe
you
to
need to
say
work
that.
on.
It's safe to ask a question. That's what I'm saying. Everybody has their interpretation. It's not safe to say. It's never safe to say what somebody else is thinking. Never.
It's not about what you might know the interpretation. It's about the person you talking to,
And
how they
that's where
interpret it.
those clarifying questions come in, Dave. That's where those clarifying
Well,
questions
you
come
know what I'm
in.
about to say, right? You know what I'm about to say, right?
They got to care enough to ask. But if they
No,
don't
that ain't
care
what I'm
enough
about to
to
say.
ask, I don't have to. No, I don't know what you're about to say, babe, because I'm not trying to read your mind. So go ahead.
You know what I'm about to say. Excuse my language. Get the fuck out of Dodge. You
You
already
just
know
said
that.
you know that I'm gonna stay the fuck in Dodge though. You know that we stay in the fuck in Dodge because you can't get answers without questions. That's the point. That's what's funny to me. You can't get answers without questions. And if you have an answer about what somebody means, the only way to get that is to ask a clarifying question. So I'm gonna go ahead and stay the fuck in Dodge and ask my clarifying questions. That's what I'm gonna do.
All jokes
I
aside,
got a permanent residency in Dodge.
all jokes aside, he didn't have to, try to remove the 7. No matter the answer you came up with, you can always ask. So why do you say a 7? So what would take you to get to a number 10, to number 10? So it's a lot of ways around all of that stuff, whatever. So, if you said a low number, why do you rate yourself this low? Or whatever the case. So you could go anywhere with it, like on the Likert scale when people give a number. So that's all I'm saying. That's counseling 101, baby.
And I want to roll that into what you were saying earlier, David, about the cocktails thing. That gentleman had to ask not once, not twice, but 3 times for that individual to disengage herself from that type of behavior. Now, I ask this question, I do it facetiously. How many times are you going to ask somebody to stop dancing on your furniture in your home that you're allowed to come in for whatever reason? You're not going to ask them 3 times. You're going to look at them the first time and think, don't you have any better upbringing than that? And you're going to tell them, look, either you get down or you get out. You're not going to ask them 3 times. And this is the problem that a lot of black men in this country face. We constantly hear that we don't do anything to combat white supremacy. We don't build businesses. We don't open businesses. We don't employ our own. But here this man has taken his time, money, and invested in a place to where people can have something in the middle of a pandemic, mind you, to go. And this is how he's shown appreciation, by literally somebody showing their ass.
So they were on top of the table or something?
She was standing on the, it was almost like a booth. Yes, it was almost like a booth sort. Mm-hmm. Yeah, and she's standing up there twerking with her hands against the glass. And what people don't realize is this.
Oh.
If she falls, she's going to sue. Liability insurance for a business is one of the biggest costs they have outside of payroll, human payroll. And I've worked midnights in restaurants, and I've seen people engage in this behavior. And I was just like, yo, look, either you cut it out or you going to leave. I don't give second and third opportunities, not when money is on the line. And I think that's what a lot of, let me not say a lot, I think that's what women are trying to gauge their reaction upon, is he didn't have to do that. Well, at what point in time does a man not need to use such language, such coarse language, to get a point across? And I'll cap that off with saying this. I've heard of the adage that profanity is the attempt of a feeble-minded one to express themselves forcibly. And I used to buy that until one day a situation came along. Hold on. Yeah, I'll get this here. Until one day I came along and saw a situation, and it forced me to rethink that. Now I understand that profanity is the attempt of the intelligent person to get a feeble-minded one to understand it. Just like David said, sometimes you have to speak to people in a certain language and meet them where they are. And it's not until you demonstrate that you have that ability and willingness to do it that they respect you. Mm-hmm. And that's the unfortunate part of what David was talking about, is that we have gotten to a point where in order to convey something to somebody, you have to reach down into a pot of shit, pull it out and show somebody that you're willing to smack them with it for them to respect you. And that's something that we have to change.
I mean, we can't change that, because that's an individual thing, because not everybody needs to be spoken to like that. And we're speaking as though everybody is getting to the point where they need to be spoken to like that. And that's just not a true statement. Those particular, I don't have not one problem with how dude handled that situation, because it's a place of business. And you know, when you have people that are just disrespecting your business, they're disrespecting themselves, disrespecting his business. Like you said, you mentioned the liabilities that can happen. Hey, I wasn't even going there, but yes, that's just another thing on top of everything else. That's not the look that this man wants for his business. Mm-hmm. You know what I'm saying? So I don't look at that as a, you know, again, for me, it's never a man-woman issue, because that's just like when club owners have to go the fuck off because the dudes is acting rowdy in their place of business. So for me, it's just about customers, and it's just about, if you're acting a fool, then you know this is clearly the language that you understand. People I used to hate it when people were like, well, you know, if you curse is because you don't have the vocabulary. I'm a fucking nerd. My vocabulary is all the way up here. But what I understood was that a lot of times when I'm speaking to people from a nice, you know,
respectable way,
you know, just amenable standpoint, you get to pat on the head. Shit, like, you know what I'm saying? That was happening. And so when you drop an F-bomb or two, you know, you become, and I'm a sailor, so I'm a lady with a dirty mouth anyway. So this is where I've been. But and if someone were to mistake, and because they hear Saria saying the occasional F-bomb, whatever, and mistake it for I'm unintelligent, they're going to be in for a real, it's going to be a fun awakening for me once they really get what's going on. But, you know, that again, like Herb said, to me, it's when, you know, intelligent people are trying their best to get through. And this is the language you understand. Hell, even Jesus rode with the sinners. Jesus,
Okay.
Jesus wasn't kicking it with the perfect people.
No, he
He was
wasn't.
with the sinners. He was meeting them where they was at, and
Where
that's
was
what
they
we're
at?
supposed to do. So I'm gonna go ahead and meet you where it's at. I could show you. Sometimes you gotta
Yeah,
show
yeah.
them also how crazy
Yeah, I
it
can show you.
can get,
Mhm.
just so that they appreciate the fact that you don't take it there all the time. And
Mm.
so I have no problem with how that brother handled his business, and anybody that didn't like it could have got their asses up
And left.
and,
And
and
went to saying bomb.
exited stage left.
And
Leave your plate and pay your tab.
well, that was one
And,
of the
and
things. That was one of the things. The feedback that some of the people had posted that they were there for hours and they didn't get any food. He was shoving drinks down their throat, so people when they was playing the music, it got them to dance and all that stuff. So what did he expect? So as a grown person, I don't know. I mean, if I'm going to a new environment like that, I'm probably going to eat a little something. And if I'm going and I'm going to indulge in some cocktails, it's my choice if I decide to wait 2 or 3 hours. If it get to that point that I'm like, all right, I've been waiting here for 2, 3 hours, you have the
right.
choice to leave. And then maybe you'll say, oh, I'm not going to come back there no more, or maybe it'll die down or whatever the case is. So it seemed like to me the man said what he had to say, and then, of course, people gonna try to drag his stuff under the ground. When really, the videos I seen, I said, oh, that's a nice little spot. Uh, nice little spot, and yeah, he want to keep it respectable because once you start the twerking and the dancing and carrying on and the drinking, sooner or later they're gonna tear that shit up. They're gonna
Yep.
tear it up after a while, yeah, and that's just the
That's just the
given.
truth of it. We can talk about, we can talk about the injustices of it all we want to, but the truth of the matter is, we know that there's some areas that Black people is going to tear this shit up. And this man is trying to keep his establishment from being one of those establishments, And so if people don't have the self-control to go out, because that's really what it's all about. I ain't trying to hear about no damn the music made me do it. Like, listen, you go out to have a good time. You need to have some damn self-control. If you
Right.
cannot control yourself, then the consequences of that is that you may get checked. Somebody may be cursing you out at the end of the night if you can't check yourself. That's why I say at the end of every segment, if you check yourself more than you try to check other people, life will get much better. You go into somebody's establishment, there's a certain decorum that you need to be displaying anyway. So why is it okay anyway for you to just start acting a fool in this public establishment? Like, let's talk about that. Why is that okay? And so then okay that now we're expecting somebody to just be okay with it. He doesn't have a right to say something about the foolery that's going on in his establishment. Most people don't accept foolery in their house. And
Don't you think, Saria, that as far as that relationship where the business establishment and then here it is, the people that's coming in, whether male or female, and so but this based on the female because of the fact that she may have had too much to drink and whatever the case may have been of her getting up and behaving the way that she was behaving. And like you said, once again, it had to do with the liability. But prior to even like, I know I've been into places of establishments myself and I've seen, where young ladies was supposed to have been ladies and, not acting like young ladies because, they have had too much, to drink and, may have had whatever else they were doing, on top of that to make them, hey, act out of their character. And so once again, it's about one knowing themselves. And I know, when I go out and I'm with my girlfriends now and, we're having a good time, we're not out there acting like, luscious and acting, cray cray. They just,
Yeah.
We are accountable for one another. And then if you acting, crazy, you ain't hanging, you ain't come back out with me.
Yeah, I want to know where the friends at, unless the friends is twerking too. But we had a code when I went out as young women, in the military. Number one, we had a buddy system.
Mm-hmm.
And we
Right.
went out. And if it was somebody that was acting crazy, oh, they got snatched up immediately. First of all, because I'm with you. People can't be associating me with, this type of this. If I'm gonna do my dirt is done in the dark, honey. You're gonna have to search and search and search for my dirt. It's happening in the dark. We just ain't gonna be at the club and you just out here just hoeing it out. So that's the first thing. My circle of friends, we were accountable for one another. And so I see somebody ask, did the gentleman try to talk, have a private conversation regarding the behavior? Mm-hmm. And I don't know if he did or not, but this is what I say. Once somebody is up on your tables twerking in your business, ain't no private conversation. Right. Like once the heels hit the table,
we grown. We grown. Whatever. You don't need to pull somebody in your office. Can I talk to you for a second? You know what the hell to do.
Like, ain't no private conversation because you ain't acting a fool in private. You way out there for everybody to see. And all it takes is the right people to have they because everybody got their phone, their camera phone, And so no, ain't no private conversation. I'm gonna go ahead. We're gonna kick you into this private alley.
Let me jump in here right quick and give the riddle clue.
Remember
a beverage served quote unquote clean. That is the riddle clue. I'll say it again. A beverage served clean.
Water?
No, that is incorrect.
But hold on. Before we go to that, you said so a beverage served clean. So I just posted it on there. When y'all go back to when the comment by Latoya and said, did he have a private conversation? That's life skill 101. I remember when we used to have dinner or something, or any meal at my grandmother's house. She didn't care for us overly talking while you eating or singing, dancing. That was just like a damn no. There's certain things you do. To be honest, a lot of black people, they just dance and act a damn fool for no damn reason. It's been like I didn't went to places, whatever little spots like Wawa, and grab something right quick, a smoothie or something. And you got people ordering shit just to dance and to be dancing. Like, act like you had something before. Act like you ate before. And I think that was my grandmother's whole point, whatever. Don't get here singing and running your mouth at this table. Act like you had something before. Like, damn.
Act like you got some sense. Act like
you don't need to have no private conversation with no grown ass person that can get into a spot, whatever. This is life skills 101.
But I remember when, growing up, I remember my grandmother and my mom used to say, wherever you cut up at, that's where you go, I'm gonna show out right there.
Sure. Yeah.
Right there. Wherever you go,
it's going down. Where we do it.
Right there with you.
Yep.
It's going down. Right.
So ain't no need to go into no office. You we
ain't pulling to no side. We ain't whispering.
Right.
No. Because I'd have said this. Listen, I would have said the same thing. I said, I had no issue with how he can, because as a matter of fact, he tried to. He seemed like he was still trying to keep it calm in the beginning of his speech, and he just got heated. Right. And ended up with y'all get the fuck out. but he was still trying to be calm and diplomatic about it. Mm-hmm. So, hey.
Mm-hmm. And he did. But at the end of the day, it was about, this is his place of establishment and this is his business.
Listen, people had a nerve not to want you to walk on their carpet in their roach infested house. Okay. You need to take your shoes off to come up in their carpet and they got roaches and shit. Okay. And that's in their house. So you're going to go to somebody's business establishment and you're going to put your nasty feet up on tables and twerking and shit and all your juices and shit flying all over the place. And you expect for somebody not to say something to you. No, come on. And when no.
Well, this is why,
Booty
Joey.
juice.
this is why we have to teach each other as ladies to be ladies, because a lot
Listen,
of times
I'm I'm not even giving them that credit because ain't nobody taught them that it's okay to go out and twerking. Okay, I'm gonna submit to you that ain't nobody told them that that's okay. That's an individual choice they made. It don't got nothing to do with them having to learn that. Their mama didn't say, baby. Now when you get older, baby, it's all right. If you decide, if you just want to climb on the table, ain't nobody's parents said that to them. Everybody, like David said, everybody's parents like, look, don't you get up in here and act no fool. Everybody was told that. So, I'm done giving them excuses. Make better choices, ladies. Make better choices because you know better. This ain't nothing somebody got to teach. You know better. Make better choices or suffer the consequence. Don't get mad because somebody done had to check you when you done had your juices twerking all over somebody's table.
And the thing about this is you learn this stuff from home. You also learn code of conducts from schools. So you constantly being told rules and regulations. You know this stuff. You know this stuff, whatever. So people we tend to keep making excuses for these damn people when it's unacceptable, whatever. I would have said to her, get the fuck out of Dodge. Now that I said it twice, you gotta go. You gotta go. Get rid of her. Simple as that. And take your raggedy crew with you. And my business still would have flourished. Because you know what? He got about 1.2 million views. He got 1.2 million views on that stuff. Maybe
her
higher
friend
now.
was raggedy. Have y'all ever seen? I know y'all have seen, and this is for the guys too. I know y'all have seen, like when you go into a club or something, you see a woman that's just dressed so stupidly that your first question is, where was her friends at? This woman has no friends.
I just had this conversation. That's a lost start. No, hold on. That's a lost start. And I was just speaking on this. I said it ain't no true fans. Back in our days, if somebody ain't look right, that was a dress. Where you going on with that?
Where you going?
Now people post stuff on social media, and you got people liking it. You look cute, girl. Like I want to say, what is wrong with y'all? What are y'all looking at?
Ridiculous. Y'all need to tell her you have no true friends, sweetie. And then when you say something, all of a sudden you hating. How I'm hating on somebody that's looking like a swamp demon. Trying to go out. I'm trying to save you. Okay. I'm trying to get you some play this evening. I'm trying to save you from being on World Star because they ain't gonna be taking your picture. Okay, to be nice. They're going to be taking your picture so that they can post it up on their media and be like, look at this bitch here. Okay, you're about to become fodder. I'm trying to help. So
some of it may be simply, that person looking messy, and you're like, well, I'm looking better, so I'm just going to let that person go out looking like a fool. A lot of times
it is. I think it's that. I do think that. I absolutely think is that sometimes that there's a jealousy. Well, hey, if they look in a mess, then I know I ain't looking worse than this. So I'm betting everything is for me. No
competition.
Interrupt the broadcast. We actually have a winner for the riddle. A beverage served clean is known as neat. No garnish, no ice, no chaser, no mixer, no nothing. And that is Latoya.
Oh, listen. Okay.
We got a new champion. Oh wow! Okay, congratulations.
They were coming fast and furious. We had some really, really good guesses. Amy was close, but she didn't come up with the word, and I didn't want to tip anybody's hand. So,
well, congratulations, Latoya. Congratulations.
Right.
Herb, you've been kind of quiet. I know you've been following the thread. Whatever we got to get your input on. Listen, I know, like I said, you've been following the thread, responding to the riddle.
Make sure, hey Latoya, make sure you drop your cash app to David or myself so we can get you the winnings. What I actually wanted to do was to roll that into mate selection. Now we all know that there are those of us who will overlook an individual's behavior and still deal with them. for one reason or another, be it that they have money, they find them attractive enough physically to want to engage in sex with them. And this creates the avenue for dealing with multiple people. At what point are we willing to sacrifice? I don't want to use morality. At what point are we willing to sacrifice our acceptable decorum to deal with somebody?
You mean your standards? At what point
Yes.
are you willing to lower your stand? Well, for me, that was a maturity thing. As I matured and as I grew, as I, you know, learn the life lessons that I need to learn and taken from different relationships. At this point, I'm not lowering any standard.
Oh,
Like,
that's
you know, and that's well, that's just it. I'm not lowering any standard, but that had to come with personal development and personal maturity and knowing what it is that I want, what I'm going to deal with, what I can give, being honest with myself about what I can give to someone else. And so at this point, no, I'm not lowering anything. I mean, if you just can't, if you can't reach it, you just can't reach it. Like, you know, better luck next time. Like, you know.
And I think far as that, I mean, I know sometimes in private you might have heated conversations and stuff like that. But once you get out in public, and I ain't saying front for the public, but it's a certain expectation that you should have in certain code of conduct. If you somebody just loud and carrying on and making a scene, oh, you gonna get checked. You gonna get checked. Maybe not right there, but we gonna have a
I
conversation.
mean,
We gonna have
once
a
again,
courageous
wherever you do it,
conversation,
wherever you doing
and
it.
it's not gonna
well,
last too long.
now
And I don't care
this
who
is
it
the whole
is.
this is the whole thing. Is first of all, is if you before you even get involved in a relationship with whomever, male or female, you need to know who you are getting involved with. Is
You
why
don't
Right.
always know that right then and
well,
there.
no,
You
hold
don't
on, hold
always
on.
know there's certain
No.
Well,
situations.
you don't
Right.
always know, but
No, you don't always know, but this is the thing is that the okay, I'm pretty much sure Soraya and the way how you see myself, this is how I am. And now when I tell you when we have those conversations of you getting to know me and I'm sharing my likes and my dislikes and I'm saying to you that I don't like A, B, and C. And then here it is one night we are out somewhere and for whatever reason you just decided that you were going to do A, B, and C of something that I just said that I told you in the beginning that I don't like. Now you're gonna get a warning the first time. Now the second time I don't know because I might not be so
Hold
nice
on,
because
Sabita,
I had
hold on.
already
David,
told them. So I done
Yeah.
already
hold on,
told you
hold on. Oh,
the first time.
Sabita, hold on. David, bring in Anita. Okay, you can continue, Sabita.
So I have already then told you, the first time. So now if you didn't did it a second time, it's just like, okay, you don't care. So now here it is. If I blow up, the third time while we out, then apparently, guess what? You needed it because I done told you from the giddy up. So that is why we need to have a meaningful conversation in the beginning because I'm telling you what I like and I don't like. And if you're not listening to me, then shame on you. And then it's shame on me if I'm not listening to you. And then if I behave in a certain way. So that's why you have to know who you're talking to when you want to be in some kind of relationship. Because if I'm telling you
KYP.
I don't
You know
like
that's
it,
KYP.
then I don't like it. And so here it is. And you come to me. So then that means that, a lot of times some people may get, they may show their tail, because everybody they gonna show their head at
they
some point.
checking. I call that checking the temperature.
Right.
That's when they checking the temperature. They
like
seeing what they could,
they
let's
right.
push the envelope. See
Right.
if they
And
was
see what's
really
gonna come out.
serious about this.
Okay. Right. So here it is. If you push that button, and I done told you that hey, if you don't like certain things yourself, and if I don't like it, but if you want, the smiley happy me, then that's what you're gonna get. But if you try me, you gonna try me, and I'll let you try me. But guess what? You might not like the outcome because I didn't share it with you already. That other side. I'm just saying. I'm just being honest. I'm just being real.
Okay, I respect that. And you also know that a lot of guys travel the path of least resistance. So when you put all that out there, they might say, "Man, the hell with this stuff she talking. I'm gonna
Well,
try it and see. I'm gonna try it and see if I can get away with
But
it.
see,
She
that's
just
not the
talking."
path of least resistance, David. If you're testing limits, you're not trying the path of least resistance. If you're testing limits, you're looking for resist. You're looking to see if the resistance is real.
it's
See,
real.
there's a difference. The path of least resistance is when a woman is going all ziggity boo and a dude just shuts down and he's like, you know what? Okay. Okay is the path of least resistance. But
Or
when you
or
decide to take that challenge on, that's like, I mean, that's just what it is. I mean,
and you may and let me get
and once the gauntlet is thrown down, we all got to be all right with the outcome. Like
and
we all got to be all right with it.
I still think it's the path of least resistance because you might hear it once or one or two times, but then after a while, then you may realize, oh, he ain't called me back, or he's acting funny now because he said, oh, it's too much. It's too much. Too her standards too high. It's
But
too
this,
many demands. She too has too many. I don't do this. I don't do that. And they like, man, I can go right over here. I do what the hell I
okay,
want
but guess
There
when
what?
I
you
want to
go.
So do
do
you
it,
so when
and
you
I'm
say the
fine.
You
path
can
of
go
least
right over
resistance, do
there
you mean
then.
leaving her alone? Do you mean leaving that
No,
woman alone?
meaning going somewhere else when you
Well,
may
yeah,
not have
yeah,
to
that
hear
is the
that.
path.
Okay,
Yes,
Yeah,
yes,
yeah,
okay.
I
So guess
misunderstood
what?
you. Yeah, that
yeah.
is the path of least resistance. Go somewhere else. And like I
Okay,
said, everybody got to deal with the consequences of their stuff.
and they
That
do.
if
And
that's the
this is the thing,
consequence of her doing that, she might be willing to deal with that.
right? And
And
I was
that's
just
where I
gonna
was,
say,
and that's where I was going to go, Anita. Is that sets up the situation for dealing with multiple people, whether it's known or unknown. And just like you said, you have a lot of people that do that, male and female, that'll say, okay, you know what? I know if I go here, I'm going to get this, and if I go here, I'm going to get this. So I'm going to deal with this individual for this. I'm going to deal with this individual for that, and whatever else happens, happens. There's a lot of people that are doing that now, and this is what I mean by using um, the tools that we have to destroy our modern society. We have gotten to a point now where, as a society, that we can move almost seamlessly, if you're good enough, between individuals, not even really caring about the potential damage that could be done. And in the midst of our wake, we are leaving a trail of broken people, broken hearts, and culture that is so convoluted that we don't know a good person from a person who's negative. So how do you navigate those? Well, how does anybody navigate those if that's the culture we're going to allow to flourish?
Well, for me, none of this is new. People been cheating since cheating been cheating. And it's people that have multiple families and none of this is new. And so what needs to happen is as you get older and as you're there, you need to be taking some lessons away from all of the things that you're learning up until this point. So for me, it's about your personal discernment. It's still about knowing yourself.
mhm,
Sometimes we get so bogged down into trying to figure other people out that you
right,
forgot to figure yourself out.
Mm-hmm.
Figure you out and the things that
Adam.
it's about the law of attraction. Once
Hmm.
you know who you are,
There
and
you
once
go.
you put out there who you are, the
There you
universe is going to bring people into your midst.
go.
You're going to attract your tribe. Now, yeah,
Mhm.
people going to try you, but that's still up to you to have your defenses up. It's not up to somebody else to be like, oh, well, she looks like she's a straight laced person, so I'm not going to bring no shenanigans to her. No, it's up to you that if somebody is coming to you with shenanigans, that you
Mhm.
know how to block that, whether you're
Right,
a male or a female. You
right.
can't be looking for other people to be looking for your best interest. That's your job.
That's
You
it.
have to know who you are. And
Hmm.
you just have to be able to stand on it and be okay
And be
if
okay with it.
somebody else doesn't fit your standard. A lot of people is so afraid of mofos walking out the door that they
Ah,
will stay in a situation, and that's male or female, because males get into relationships because they don't want to be alone, whether
mhm.
they want to admit that or not. They do
Right.
it just like females do.
Yep.
So no,
Oh,
that's a
Jesus.
you thing. You have
And
to make that decision that you're better than that.
that's right.
Otherwise, otherwise people are going to be able to just come in. You're going to be you're going to be a victim of your own life. If you either life is living you or you're living it, and you got to make a decision on what that is. And it's not always about knowing everybody else. How are you going to know anybody else? Most people don't even know themselves. You don't know what you like.
And I think that's the key thing. Whatever people don't know themselves, they're a shell of everybody else's personality or people who they want to be. So it's a lot of fool's gold going around here. But I'm gonna leave it at that point because we got Anita in here. She ain't said a word, and because we ain't given an opportunity. How you doing, Anita?
Hey, Anita.
I'm okay because God gave me 2 ears, and I heard I should listen twice as much as I talk sometimes.
I know that's right, girl. Let's go. But we want to hear you though. So now
you telling me you ain't got nothing to say?
No, I'm listening and I'm learning, and I've had different experiences here dating in the civilian world as I have in the Army world. Guys are a little bit different. But here, oh my God, I'm so confused. Like I met a 29-year-old who I had to check his ID because he wasn't acting right. And I was like, are you sure you're 29? I need to see your ID. And then I met a 26-year-old. Yeah, I'm a little bit of a cougar because I still look young.
Girl, well, that's why you having them problems that you got to check ID, girl. No, they're acting exactly how they supposed to act, Sweetie Pooh. They acting just how they act.
She said a little bit of a
cougar. Wait a minute. The guys in the Army, when they're at that age, because we're so responsible, we're so responsible for so many things.
You learn
they have a certain level of more maturity. So I met somebody else that was 26, and he was like way more mature than this 29-year-old. I was like, what in the hell? And then this, oh my God. So I'm learning how to
date. You still ready to play? You still ready to play Russian roulette with them? I don't got the time or the inclination. I can't do it. I can't do it. And they be hitting at me too. And and they look fine. Oh my God. Like that's when sometimes you just got to learn to look and not touch. I'm a good looker, but not toucher. Because I already know the drama that's coming with you. I know the drama that's coming with 29. Oh my God. It's not worth it. It's not worth the D. It's not worth none of that. For me, for this girl right here. But Anita's still ready to count the days and still go through that, honey. Good luck. Good luck. They better be fine too. If you going through it, they better be fine.
It's called DPP. It's called DPP. They like to drink, plow, and PlayStation. That's what they trying to do. Drink, plow, and PlayStation. That's what a 26, 29-year-old doing.
If a guy is 26 and he has his
okay, we already know. Don't come with that argument. Not all.
No, because I'm
okay. Hold on,
because I have a young 29-year-old son, and he ain't doing that. He about his business. So that's why I said that. I'm a mama that I know that mind about his.
Well, we already know that. Typically, that argument that ain't gonna go nowhere because we're not dealing with absolutes with any of this. There's no absolutes.
So, like I said,
right? Because my son is about to be 29 and he's playing PlayStation. He's still doing his own thing, and he's about his business too. But he's enjoying it. And when he talks to me about the relationship that he's in, I have to, I remind him that there's going to be some other expectations that she's going to have, other than sitting and watching him play PlayStation and stuff. But here's the thing. He lives in his own apartment. He takes care of his own bills. He takes care of his business. So for me, if that's what you want to do, then that's what you do. There has to just be a balance. I teach him that his feelings are just as important in the relationship as his girlfriend's feelings are. And so she met him playing PlayStation. So that's what we do. We know we're not finna force none of that other stuff going on. You met him playing it, grow together. But that's how it is. Anita, what were you saying? You were saying if you met somebody that was 26 and they had their own place, finish what you were saying, darling.
Oh, okay. So I was saying that so if I meet somebody that's 26 and he has a good career and he's educated, he's, doing his thing, in a professional career, say like a doctor or a nurse practitioner, he would probably most likely, hopefully, be more mature at 26 than some other guys that don't know shit from chocolate at
Well,
29.
yes. So yes, and that has to do with the experience level, and just as far as his life experiences. But here's what I'm gonna say. I mean, and you know, this is just where I'm at with that. Just because someone is mature for their age doesn't mean that they're not still their age. They can be mature in a
Right.
certain aspect for their age. That's that. Just like when I hear people that's like talking about their little kid, you know, like a 9-year-old. Oh, well, my 9-year-old, they can stay at the house because they're so mature for their age. Okay, well, they may be mature in some instance for their age, but they're still their age, and there's still some absolutes that go with that age. And so, yeah, they can be hitting it as far as a career goes. They can be, you know what I'm saying, just because of different circumstances in life, but they are still that age. And you have to understand that because there's still some learning curves that 26-year-olds are doing. You know what I'm saying? That, you know, so yeah, you just have to take all of that in. I don't want you to be bamboozled by the, you know, because you got a big dick, a big house, and a big car. I want you to know that there's still going to be some issues that's going to arise from that. And you just got to be ready for it. I mean, hey, if you ready for it, boo, then, but you know, they're still going to be there, and you're going to be looking like, oh my God, but he was so mature. He was so mature in that instance. He's still and there's still some things you'll have to deal with.
Now I'm going to come from a male perspective too.
Yeah,
And he could be, you know, professional, got it going on, handle his business, but you never know when he get with his boys. That could bring out a different personality or a different persona when he with his friends, whatever. Because I know when I was in, you know, when I
well,
was.
that's with everybody. When I'm with my girlfriends, I'm like, "What's up, Biatch?" Like, you know, like, you know, I have a different, you know, going on with the different types of relationships in my life, whether it's friendship, sister, mother, you know. So I
But
get it. I think
typically,
it's about like emotional maturity too.
it's emotional intelligence. It typically is not
Yeah,
like a night and day thing, whatever. Most people will pretty much be the same. But if you see someone like, oh, he handled his business throughout the week, but damn, he's a total asshole when he got with his friends and all that stuff. So those are things that you have to watch out for.
That's just like I met a guy when I went out, and like because me and my girls, we would always go out on Friday for karaoke. Go out, and I mean, girl, this is back when I smoked cigarettes, which was a nasty habit, I know, but I don't smoke them no more. So, but I mean, girl, I couldn't get the cigarette to my lips before he was right there with the lighter, girl. Every Friday, he got the lighter, and he, you know, got my drinks and everything. And so for about a year, you know, this is my Friday date. Me and my girls go out, and dude is in there. So now one year is my birthday, and I have a lot too much to drink. And I decide that his turn was up. Let me tell you something. The wonderful dude that was there every Friday, lighting my cigarette, making sure I had my drinks and all that stuff. He was great. The dude that showed up Saturday through Thursday, I don't know who the fuck that dude was. I needed to leave him at Friday. Listen, so this is what I mean. That you can see something in someone. And because, you know, I spent a year every Friday going in there, you know, we're having conversations and all this stuff, and you're thinking that you know this person. No, I know the Friday version of him. Right. That's who I knew.
That's what you knew.
Because the mofo that showed up on Saturday through Thursday, I had no clue what the fuck was going on. I had no clue what was going on.
I will say this: if this usually pertains to guys, if you want to know who a guy is at his core, not how he behaves at certain times, look at his top 3 to 5 friends. What they do, how they behave, will tell you about his core values. I'm an anomaly because I have friends that I don't get to see often because I work midnight. So my life is completely different. So if you're trying to use that to gauge me, you probably won't have a clue of what my core values are. But I will tell you, for most guys, if you look at their core friends who they spend the most time with, it's like the moon having the effect on the earth in terms of tides. They will tell you who he is at his core. Now, what he does when he's alone or when he's out of their midst is who he wants to be. He's just maintaining a certain level of behavior, so he has a tribe to stick with. Because the last thing anybody really wants is to be by themselves. You know, the whole lone wolf syndrome thing really doesn't play well to a lot of people. A lot of people look at a man who doesn't have friends, who doesn't associate with a lot of people, who doesn't hang out, as somebody to be skeptical of. And I think that's the way a lot of people view me. They say, well, okay, why don't you have kids? Or why don't you do this? You do mentoring, but you don't want to be around kids. I said, simply for the fact that a lot of kids aren't raised in the way that I was. They're not quiet, they're not reserved, they're not respectful of the things that I hold true. So it gets to a certain point where I value my mental sanity more than I do being around people. And if people disrupt that mental sanity, I'll tell you, you know what, go your way, I'll go my way. You know, when we come back, we might watch the game, we might do this, but all that other stuff, I don't have time for it.
I don't have time for none of it.
Stop.
Because listen, here's what I'm saying. I don't. So here's the thing. In a relationship, when I'm dealing with you, I'm really accommodating because of the fact that I want our communication to be effective. And I'm dealing with you for a reason. I'm dealing with you because I enjoy, I'm enjoying your company. I'm enjoying whatever it is. And we're supposed to be enjoying one another. Once I'm telling you that something is off, I figure in any ball game, 3 strikes you out. And then I mess around and I give you an extra one. So at that 4th time that I got to come to you and I have to say something, it's really, we just putting nails in your coffin at that point, because I've said it 4 times already. And so if you now decide that you want to jump to action because I've told you that I'm done, it's a crapshoot as to whether it's going to do. I've already dealt with, I've given you all the excuses that I'm going to give. I've dealt with all of the delays and whatever it is that I've asked for, because at the end of the day, it is nobody else's job to make me happy. It's my job to be a happy person. I'm supposed to be a whole, complete, happy person coming into a situation. Person that's coming into a situation with me needs to be a whole, complete, happy person. All this work and stuff y'all talking about doing, I have been there, done that. I have retired my nurse band boots, my nurse building nigga boots. I have retired them. They are done.
Look, hello.
And don't know, and anybody that deal with me, they can hang up. They save a whole cape, because I don't need no saving like that. You understand what I'm saying? I'm just at a different level. So if people are still willing to handle all of these project people and all this, listen, like Herb said, my mental health and sanity and peace and all of that stuff is so much more important than trying to learn some other mofo that don't even know they self. So that's that. When I say I don't got time for none of it, that's what I mean. Like I said, I'm accommodating in a relationship until you show me that you're not reciprocating, because we all know what I believe is that fair exchange is no robbery. Once I find out that you a fucking thief, then we got a problem.
We got a problem.
We got a problem.
But isn't that stance you taking kind of going against in a relationship, going against interdependence, where it's not about saving somebody? They're gonna have weaknesses. You're gonna have weaknesses. They're gonna have strengths. You're gonna have strengths. So that's
why they get 4 chances to try it. That's why they get 4 chances.
So if my weakness is, and I go past 4,
how many times do I have to say the same thing to you? How many times do you even want to say the same thing to your child? People don't even want to repeat themselves to their children. And children is learning and learning and learning. And so I'm supposed to now want to repeat myself. How many times would a grown man want to repeat the same thing to me? I'm not forcing him to repeat anything to me. If he comes to me with an issue. Hey, I'm feeling this kind of way. I'm going to look and see what I can do to change, because like I said, I am accommodating in a relationship because I want it to work. I'm looking for it to work. I'm not looking for ways that it can't work, or ways that I can get around doing what you want me to do. No, I'm in a relationship with you for a reason. So
let me just interject whatever. So and I heard you, Soraya, say it like the fourth time. I seen Anwar just say 4 times and you out. So what is considered a strike? Like, what is a strike? Like, because there got to be some wiggle room on that, like, and that might be non-negotiables or whatever. Like, that this is what I don't accept. So what is a strike?
So a strike for me is, I'll take a real life example. So I had something that I wanted. I wanted a specific kitchen table. The dude that I was dealing with, he said, "Oh, I'm gonna get that table for you." I'm like, "Well, no, you don't have to get the table for me." He was like, "No. I want to, just let me know how much it is." So I tell him how much the table is. So a couple of days go by, and he doesn't, send me the money to get the table. Me, I'm not somebody that's gonna nag you. So hey, the next time I'm talking about a table, I'm about to order the table. Another time number 2. Well, no, babe, I told you that I was going to get the table. You're going to get the table. You told me you're going to get the table. The first time you ain't send me no money for the table. I still ain't got no table.
What's the point of getting the table unless you go put food on the table?
How about this? I'm introducing him to his favorite porn star when he come over. Why don't I have a table? If we just gonna keep it 100. Why don't I have a table? Your favorite porn star ain't sitting at tables. Like, what's really going on? So don't give me the table. So time number 3, I'm like, what's up with the table? And so it's just always some excuse. So now I got the table. I ordered the table, and the table is there. So the next time he comes over, the table is there. He brought his monkey ass right in and sat at that table and didn't say anything, sat at it like it had always been there. We watched the movie and everything. So when he's leaving, he's wondering why I'm a little bit icy. So I said, so you really are going to say nothing about the table? And he says, well, it's beautiful. I said, oh, I know it's beautiful because I got the table. I was like, what I'm expecting from you, what I need to know is that, so now it's not about the table, because of course I can get my own table. It's about you now 4 times telling me that you were going to do something and completely not doing it. So now I need to know what that's all about, because that's a problem for me. Because see, every time you come over here again, you getting introduced to your favorite porn star. I'm making sure of it because I need to know that I'm doing what I'm supposed to be doing. So now, how about this? Favorite porn star is shut down because she don't have a table to sit at. I was like, that's some BS. All of this time. So when I was talking to him about it, but still giving, when he was still able to get what he needed from me, because as I asked him, what is it that I provide for you? He said, well, you provide me peace of mind. I come over here and it's peace. I said, so let me get this straight. While I'm providing peace of mind, peace of pussy, peace on earth to men, you are just providing what? Because I still don't got no table. I don't got no, you know what I'm saying? So it's about your words and your actions need to line up. So a strike for me is when your words and your actions ain't lining up.
So it sounds like he didn't have the bread. He didn't have the bread to get the table. That's what it sounded like to me.
Hey, and that's what it could have been. But that's all he would have had to say. Don't tell me 4 times that you're going to do it and then don't do it and then wonder why I'm tripping. Wonder why your porn star been shut down. Like, you know what I'm saying? Again, it's consequences for everything. Donald said, I don't have time for strikes. We're adults and I don't have time to teach you how to adult. Make a mistake, acknowledge it, fix it, move on. The same mistake more than once is a choice. And once my tolerance is maxed out. And I'm with you, Donald. And so that's you. But the reason that I give 4 is so that it ain't no excuses when I go off. Because when I go off and I have my ammunition all lined up and you want to try to come back.
I can only imagine. I can only imagine.
Oh, yes. All you got to do is not get 4 strikes. That's easy to me. I got to make sure that I'm right. And another thing, like I said, I'm always checking myself. I'm making sure, okay, am I slacking in some way? Am I doing something that would cause this person to go back on their word? And which is why I come to you and I talk to you about it. Let me know if there's something that's going on as to why you're carrying it this way. I'm coming to you 3 times nicely because I'm trying to work it out. After that, now it's safe to assume after I done did all my checks and balances that you've made a decision. And now here go my decision. Porn star shut down. Shut down.
Well, I'm a little more simple. I'm a little more direct. I come home and my furniture is moved. You gotta go.
I know you said that shit.
I already know.
Like, hey, and look, if you don't answer his shit in 15 minutes, he done with you.
Yeah.
It's
Pushing
done.
on the couch move. Pushing on the couch move. Herb put you out.
But I make that. But I'm also transparent in that regard. I don't try and do the whole hide and seek thing. I'm gonna let you know. Look, there's some things that I just don't abide by. If I haven't told you, you won't get punished. So I do make allowances for what I don't say and what I don't disclose.
Yeah,
that was something he got away with telling other women so many times, and they accepted it, and he tried it because he's used to never being caught on this shit. That's it. He's been getting away with it for so long. That's why he'll continue to keep trying it. A woman has to do what's always best for her. Now, I believe that. And so, like I said, and for me, I don't care. I'm at the point where I don't care no more about what nobody else was doing because here's the thing. I've said it before and I truly believe this. And so if it's any woman that disagrees with what I'm about to say, please let me know. At the end of the day, guys, women really just want to be able to share some pussy with you without feeling like a fucking idiot. And it seems like pride themselves on making us feel like an idiot. And so that's where the problems come in.
Okay. Hold on. I gotta interject.
All of these lies and all of this stuff. I take all of that stuff off of the table. I don't know how no other woman does it. I can only tell you how I do it. I take all the lies off the table.
So what makes you feel like an idiot?
And I'm expecting you to be straight with me too, because we are supposed to all be grown. And if we're all grown, then it ain't no reason for you to lie about what you got going on, because I'm not going to lie. And so once I find out that a lie has been told, I'm done, because lies are dangerous. Like it's no reason for it. And like I said, I don't know how no other woman does it. I do it. That's how I do it, because I want to be effective in my communication with people that I'm dealing with. It's not a competition.
So Saria, so if he would have told you, I don't got the money yet for the table, but I plan on getting it, how long were you gonna deal with that, or how empathetic or sympathetic you were gonna be?
I wouldn't have waited to get the table, because I would have just said, well, you know what? You can just get something else when you have it. My thing was, I wanted that specific table. So if he didn't have the money, I would remember I was already going to get the table. He said, don't get the table because I want to get the table. Say again.
If he didn't have the money, he shouldn't have offered, just as like a nice gesture, and then not
don't have to say anything. Or like I said, if he thought that he was going to have the money and he did, I've been dealing with this person for 4 years, so this is not like this is some new cat that doesn't know how to talk to me.
So you already knew he was a liar.
If he doesn't have it, then he doesn't have it. So that's the whole point. We've been dealing long enough for you to know how to deal with me. You don't have to tell me lies. You don't have to give me fake promises. You don't have to do any of that with me. And so if you're doing it, that's a choice you're making. And now I'm gonna make a choice. So let's see who come out on top of that one.
Sometimes men end up putting their foot in their mouth for
Yeah.
just a pride factor, knowing like that you wanted that
Subject.
table. This what you were kind
Subject.
trying to get. So he kept on saying it, prolonging it, hoping
Well, now
probably
how your
eventually
pride
she'll forget
feeling
it.
that you're not getting your porn star no more? Now you don't put your pride on the line when all you had to do was keep your mouth shut and let me get my table. Now you and your pride can take care of your
So
deed.
you telling
Okay,
me now?
that makes
So you
no
telling
sense.
me
That
now?
makes no
You
sense.
telling me now? You bought the table. Don't mean so that means he's not gonna get
The table
that
is no longer
expedition.
Did you purposely miss what I said the issue was? Because I got the table. It's
Yeah,
not
I'm
about
just
the
saying.
table. It's about now your actions and your words do not align.
So you cut him off?
Cut off
Mm.
until your actions and your words start lining up.
He didn't get the furniture, aka she moved my furniture.
So what if he? So he sound like he need to get a couple more chairs. Then he'll be back in business, back in game. If he
Sounds
move
like
two more chairs to
get
the
to the
table.
point where his
Oh,
words and his actions line up, and then we'll see about his business. That's where
okay,
we're at.
yeah,
And
funny.
how about this? How about this? He has the option not to do that because I put that right on the table. Because I said we've hit an impasse. I said you've decided that you're not going to provide what I need. So I'm deciding that I'm shutting down the porn star. So that means that we've clearly reached the impasse. It was him that came. No, we haven't. No, babe. No, we haven't. Oh, why we haven't now? The other 3 times that we talked about it, you ain't doing that. You know what I'm saying? So I'm okay. Once at time number 4, I'm okay with you walking out the door.
Mm. This is gonna
Period.
be interesting. I'm learning. I got some
At
notes,
time number
mental
4,
notes.
for me, I'm all
Four
right with
strike.
you walking out the door
Four
because I'm
strike.
already used to you not showing up.
I think
I've
men
already
gonna like
gotten
that.
used to your word to you not coming through. So what am I gonna lose if we break up?
I
I'm
think most
already
men
used
gonna
to
like
it.
that. I think most men gonna like that. They got 4 strikes. They're gonna love that. They're gonna work
That
with
I
that,
hope
man.
they do. I hope they do. Because how about this? You already know it's always a trick bag up in there. If I see somebody that's trying to take advantage of that, oh, I know how to throw a curve up in there quick. So I hope they do. Right now, it's just easier to just work with a sis. It's just easier to just work with me.
These simple
Because I'm not
fellas.
asking
He
for
should have
nothing that's
simply just
not
got
I'm
the
not
table.
asking
He
him
should
to
have
do
got the
nothing that I'm
table.
not willing to do.
Right. Does this not go back to what I said in the beginning of individuals knowing thyself? You have to know yourself and what you're going to put up with and what
Period.
you're not going to put up in a relationship. And so here it is. If this is why we have to have these conversations. Look, if you are not financially stable, and if I have a lifestyle that I live and you want to be in my life, and we need to talk about all these things. We need to know how, because if I like expensive things and you may not have the finances or whatever, but am I going to kick you to the curb because you don't have it? No. But at the end of the day, I'd rather for you, let's be honest, let's talk about where you're at, financially, where you're at, mentally, where you're at, period. Where are you? And that is the question of knowing thyself, is where you're at. And so here it is. I have a choice, and I can decide if, when we're having a conversation in the beginning, if I want to be bothered with you or not. So if we be honest and lay the cards on the table, okay, this is my strength, this is my weaknesses, this is where I'm at. Let's just be honest. Keep it real.
Yeah,
Keep it
and I think I think
Keep it real and
and I
not be real.
and I think that's the pivotal thing. How many people can speak to their weaknesses and say, because most people, I'm all right in this, I could do this or do that. And they don't keep it real, say, no, I ain't no good at that. I'm not good at that. People,
And
they,
that's when
they,
you
they
suffer,
just,
you have to suffer the consequences of that. People want to not deal with their consequences. If you want to lie, if you want to, not show up, if you want to treat people, any old kind of way, there is a price to pay for that. And most people don't want to pay the price. Then it'll become, well, you should give them another chance. So this is, like I said, a person gets a certain amount of chances with me. And I saw somebody say they're going to use all 4 times up. Sweetie, if they use all 4 times up, that's on them. If you use all 4 times up in a month and then I'm out of your life, that's cool. But the quality of men that I deal with, usually that's not a problem. This issue that I'm sharing with you all is an isolated incident. There's no way that if this behavior had been going on for the 4 years that I've been dealing with him, that we would still be. That's why I'm taking the stance that I'm taking. Because, yo, you changing up, nigga. I ain't changing up.
So,
you changing up. Your behaviors
hold on. So if you've been dealing with him for 4 years, the good must have had outweighed the bad. So
we're not talking
how
about
did that
no
change?
good outweighing the fucking bad.
No. See, that's the problem. That's the problem. That's the problem.
So here it is. I'm not finna give you. So here's the thing. If I'm telling you how I'm feeling right now, if I'm telling you that I'm feeling unhappy, you don't get to come back to me and say, "Well,
what about the thin and there? What about the thin and there?
Your words and your actions aren't aligning, and that needs to change. I don't care if you think it's fair. I don't care what anybody, because you know what? I'm still giving you everything that you want. I'm still doing everything that you need. So the last 4.5 years and the last 90 days, I'm still giving you what you need.
So his body of work don't stand for anything.
You're not listening. Say again.
So his body of work in those 4 years doesn't mean anything compared to this raggedy ass table that you wanted.
You still on the table, and that's exactly where he at. That's exactly why. Because no, you don't get to use credit for making me feel good back then for treating me like shit now. I'm asking you to change it. And if you don't change it, then it's done. And again, I'm okay with that, because if I slack up, you expect me to change that shit. You expect me to get on the ball. You expect me to acknowledge your feelings. You expect me to stroke your ego or whatever else you want stroked. You don't care about what was happening 4.5 years ago. You want to know what I'm going to do to fix it right now. So that's what I want to know. Because if the 4.5 years was important to you, then you would be fixing the situation. I've given you 4 chances.
What's the best predictor of the past? What's the best predictor of the future? What's the best predictor of the future?
About the 4 chances that you had when I came to you and I was asking you. That's when I was considering that 4.5 years. When I was coming to you and letting you know and giving you that respect. That's when the 4.5 years was being considered of good behavior. It's because I'm coming to you. And now that you've consistently not done what your words and actions ain't mentioned, no, I can't give you no credit for that. And you ain't got no future credit because your word don't mean shit no more, because you done went back on it 4 times. So you ain't got nothing going for future. The past done already been used up. So now here we go, right here at today. What are we going to do about today?
The here and now, right there. The here and now. That's what you're dealing with. Never the then and there.
Now, I was going to say, Lynette Patterson, she was saying some men, they get embarrassed about their financial situations. And then as far as them being embarrassed, for me personally, at this time and stage of my life of being 48 years old, I don't give a damn if he is embarrassed or not. At the end of the day, I don't know if you is in debt. Hell, I'm embarrassed too. So I need to know if we gonna be in a relationship, is we gonna be freaking struggling, or are we building? I ain't got time because I done been there. So I ain't got time.
Exactly. I want to know everything. What does that got to do with lying? Why are you lying?
Right. So if you got to sit here and lie, I don't need you because you my enemy, and I'm not gonna sleep with your damn enemy. So at the end of the day, you're gonna tell the truth and shame the devil, and let's make it work and give me that choice, and I'm gonna give you that choice if you want to be with me or not. But to come to the table with lies, that foundation is already shaky. Ain't nobody got time for that.
Well, his first mistake is, if you've been dealing with 4 years, he should have been able to say, I ain't got it right now. I ain't got it. Mitch McConnell ain't approved his stimulus. Mitch McConnell.
That was my point.
Hold on.
And
Mitch McConnell didn't approve his stimulus.
I mean, things will change. And so, his financial situation could have changed from the first 4 years, but at the end of the day, he should have kept it real with her, and he should have not said,
We got to
"Well,
talk
I'm gonna
about
get
that.
the table."
We have
He
to
should have
talk
said
about
that.
that
He should have kept his
because
mouth
I've
shut.
earned that. I've earned that.
He
I've
should have
earned
put
that.
his
For
he
four
should
and
have
a
put
half
his foot
years, I've
down.
dealt with what I need to deal with him.
I
I've
don't got
earned
it.
that. And I've
I
been
don't,
truthful with him about what's going on with me. So fuck that. I've earned that. And because you're not giving that to me, which I have earned, I ain't asked you to give me a damn thing. You're going to give me, I've earned it. I've earned the truth from you.
well, he
And
blew
so
that one. He blew that
he didn't
one.
have it because there's been other times where he couldn't do something. He said, "Hey, babe, I don't have it right now, but I'm gonna get it." And it's not a problem. Well, babe, you don't even have to get it. I can get it. You know what I'm saying? It's not a problem. So that's the issue, is that
Well,
there's
That's
now
it.
a
but see,
decision being made because
well,
4 times you told me you were going to do it and you just didn't do it. No longer about the table. I got the table. It's
mhm,
about the words and those actions
right.
aligning. I have to pay attention to that. Period. And when
Mhm.
that starts to take chunks out of when dealing with you starts to take chunks out of my self-worth, my self-esteem, my self-efficacy, then the price is too high. I don't give a damn how long we've been together. Whenever my self-esteem and my self-confidence and stuff begins to take a hit from dealing with you, then the price is too high and I'm ready to call it. Now,
Now,
you want to come
can I
back and
ask you a question?
after that, hey, good luck.
Red, can I
Hey.
ask you a question though? When you just said, because I'm listening to you when you said you allow what his actions of not doing affect you when it shouldn't have affected you.
Correct.
You shouldn't have allowed that to affect you because at the beginning, because you're independent, you know, and so here it is. It wasn't even
That's
about
why
the
he
table. It
had.
wasn't
That's
about
why I
the
told
table,
him
right?
to keep them
So
rocks,
we gonna
girl.
make
I
it
know
clear
all
for
of that.
the
That's
ladies.
exactly why
Right.
we
We
had
gonna
that
make it clear.
conversation where he got to kick that damn your porn star. She has left the building, okay, because we have gone past where we need to be.
Right. Right.
Because
So
you're not worth this. This is not worth it anymore. I'm not doing that to you.
right.
I'm not making you feel that way. So
Mhm,
there is no excuse for you making me feel this way.
mhm.
If it means that it has to be, that's why I said mofos need to stop being afraid of mofos walking out the
No,
door.
Right. And saying
know what I
goodbye.
honestly think? Know what I honestly think, Sheree? You putting him on punishment right now, putting him on the shelf. I think
Of
he'll
course
be
he's
back on
on
that
punishment.
table.
What the fuck?
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah,
Yes.
okay. He'll be
You
back in
on
business. He'll be back on in business.
you on punishment.
Before
But
It's a
understand this.
performance.
Understand
And
this. Understand this.
here go
But
the
you know
thing.
what?
When
Can I
he's
just
doing
say
what
this
I
one
want
thing
him to
though?
do, he's getting rewarded. When he's
Can I
doing what I want him to do, he's getting rewarded. He's enjoying his favorite porn star. So why wouldn't there be a punishment or a consequence when you're not doing what you're supposed to
So
do?
it's just a matter of, is he gonna miss your porn star act, or did
Listen,
somebody else
it's
fulfill
not
that
a matter
need
of that because
elsewhere?
I
That's
already
the
told
bottom
you.
line.
I said
That's
it,
the
but
bottom
did you
line.
miss what I said when I said that I'm already prepared for him to go? So it's
No.
not about if he misses it. I'm already done. So if he goes, he goes. I'm not afraid of him walking out the door. Will it hurt? Of course it'll hurt because it's been a relationship that I have 4.5 years invested in. But will I be broken? Hell no, because it's a mofo in my inbox right now that's waiting.
You wild, Sheree. You wild. I
No, I'm
appreciate you.
real.
I appreciate
I'm
you.
real. No,
But can I just say
it'll
this?
hurt, but it's somebody waiting to soothe them tears, baby. That so no.
And
You
show
have
you
to
right.
bump that. You have to be able,
Listen.
if you're gonna play this game, ladies, gentlemen, whoever it is, if you're gonna play this game, because it is a game, if you're gonna play this game, you got to be willing to go all in. And if you're not, you're gonna be left up on the shelf talking about love ain't nothing, and I'm just off the market. No, you a coward and you don't know how to play the game. You need to be willing to throw them chips in and know who you are. Once you know who you are, can't nobody touch you. Bump that. No, bump that.
All right,
But
all right, Dave. All right.
I
let
told
me
him
say this
wherever
real
his
quick,
time
David.
and his money is going, he can take his dick there too. Those were the words I said.
Wow.
So I left up out the room.
But can I say something though? In all, now I know for a female, I know for myself when it comes to relationship, I want to make sure, man, if are you a provider? are you making provision, or am I in this, relationship by myself? Because at the end of the day, it's about us. You know what I mean? What we're doing for each other. And it's not about what, you can do for me and me just taking from you. It's what, I can bring, to the relationship and to the table. And what are you bringing? Because if you bring in, excuse me, some shit, I ain't got, cause look, I dealt with shit for 25 years and I ain't dealing with no more shit. I'm done.
You ain't bringing barbecue.
I won't say that I won't deal with it, because I deal with it. They got 4 chances, because I know that anybody, because listen, I ain't perfect, and it's not always easy to deal with me. So everybody is gonna come with their own type of personal brand of bullshit. You just got to figure out if that person is worth it.
It's
Okay. And at the end of the day, it's worth it to deal with the person, but when it starts to affect you, when it starts to affect how you're feeling about you, when any insecurities and things start to creep in, and that you have. Now, I'm a person, what I say at the end of every show, check yourself more than you check other people. So I'm checking myself all the way through. That's why I kept the porn star going. Just so I was like, okay, well, I don't want to just, because you have to give a person a chance to fix it. When you say something, you got to give them a chance to fix it. It can't just be back to back to back. So, you know what I'm saying? And I'm checking myself that whole time, so that I make sure that I'm right.
Let me ask you this question. Let me ask you what Christina said. She said, I'm curious to know, did he understand what he had done, or did he just let it be and let you call it quits? Did he apologize?
Oh yeah, so here's the update, because see, this is a current situation. So I left because when we had that conversation was the day before Thanksgiving, and so I left and I came here to Cleveland, and so of course he apologized, because a real mofo will, if it's worth it to them, they're going to apologize and they're going to come back. If it's not, then they won't. And like I said, I was ready for either one. But here's the status right now. He texted me and ask me what the weather was like here, because now I'm staying here for like a month, because my daughter is expecting my 3rd grandbaby. The grandbaby is due right around Christmas. And so it's going to make no sense for me to drive back and then have to drive back up. So I'm just going to stay here. And upon hearing that I wasn't going to be back for a while, now all of a sudden he trying to find a load. He's a truck driver, owns his own trucking company. He trying to find a load to come up here. Oh yeah, they'll come get you. If they want you, they'll come get you. But y'all got to be willing to put that on the table. Now, you got to be willing to put on the table.
I would have been at somebody else who already had a table. And the hell with all that. He talking.
Right, but that's you. That's why he's doing what he got to do. Again, it's another mofo in the inbox waiting to take his place if he don't come through. So it just is what it is.
We got to get ready to close it out, whatever. Yeah, wow. But I hope some of these points should be talking points, whatever, because I'm really stuck on this 4 strike thing. I really think that's going to motivate guys to say, man, I got 4 chances.
Listen, it will motivate a certain type of guy. Anything will motivate guys. It will motivate a certain type of guy. I can't worry about them. I'm looking for my tribe. I have discernment. So listen, like I said, this is something that I've been doing and I have no issues with it. Like I said, if they do they 4 strikes and it's over with, it's just over. But again, inbox don't stay empty.
The ultimate goal is, if you got 4 strikes, to make sure that you manage them well, not use them all up in one period of time.
Y'all can listen to David if you want to.
You gonna listen to me, David? They're gonna listen to me.
Not to get to that 4, because once I get to the 4, it's just like Herb. Remember when Herb was like, if somebody put their fork in my plate, I'm done. And I was like, that could be their out. I recognize it could be their out to get to the 4 strikes. But here's what I'm gonna submit to you. You ain't even got to do that to leave me. You know how easy it is to leave me.
all that.
But it's so easy to get rid of me. All you got to do is say, Saria, I ain't with it no more. You ain't got to do no strikes. We ain't got to be unhappy with each other.
Right.
We don't have to do it. I take all that off the table. So if you get to the 4 strikes, then hey, that's just what you wanted to do, and I'm ready to move on.
I'm just saying. I mean, I don't know. It's not like I said. It's no absolutes. Some people may know how to work their 4-strike system, whatever. Some people might be like, the hell, like Donald said, I don't do the strikes. I don't do that. I'm a
Donald
damn
said
adult,
he don't
whatever.
do strikes for himself. Did you read his comment? He was saying that the first, he don't give nobody no other chance. That's what Donald's comment was talking about. He doesn't give any strikes. He's just done. Soon as you mess up that first time, it's hasta la vista, baby.
Well, then I'm gonna put that in my words. You ain't gonna tell me, oh, that's strike 1, David, or that's strike 2. The hell with it. Let's strike 1, strike 2, strike 3. Let's strike out right now. Let's strike out right now.
I don't come to you. What you think you're dealing with an amateur? You think I come to him and be like, that's strike 1.
Right.
I don't know. You might be like that to a mofo. You might be like that to a mofo.
You'd want to know how they know? When I'm listing them. Remember I said I go through them checks and balances when I list all the 4 times that I came to them that they didn't listen. That's when they found out about the strikes. They don't get no warning. That's strike 1. That's right. No.
Well,
I'm coming to you. I'm asking you. Nice.
And you may be a vet at this, because some women will be like, oh, remember this time? You pull out a notebook. September 27th. Remember you said this or that? October 3rd. There's some women that do that stuff.
That's petty.
Because it's stupid, and that's how a mofo can take advantage of your 4-strike rule. It's because you keep on letting them know. Just like your kids. When you have kids, I hate it when I see a parent that's counting with their kids, because kids catch on to the count. Kids catch on to the count. They'll sit there and let you count. They catch on to it. So no, you find out about it when I'm reciting it to you at that 4th conversation. I came to you on this day and you did nothing. I came to you on this day and you did nothing. I came to you on that day and I'm reciting it to you. That's when you find out about your 4 strikes. So yeah, you could try it if you like.
So we're gonna
listen to David.
We're gonna get ready to close it out. I mean, I know Herb is on that grind. Of course, we always go over time. I mean, we could go on and on with this, whatever. But briefly, 30 seconds, everybody. They closing statement. Herb, you want to go first?
You know me. Growth and understanding occurs in the gray area. Godspeed. See you next time.
All right. Anita, quickly.
I don't know if we went over this already, but I wanted to touch base about, like, when you meet somebody for the first time and the guy pays or doesn't pay based on if they're interested or not interested.
Okay, we're gonna write that down. We're gonna talk about that next time.
Yes, sir.
Because I had to have some situations. Some funny ones, but that's all.
We're gonna talk about that next week.
But it was nice hearing everybody's point of view.
We got you on that. I'm gonna write that down. Soraya.
And you know what I say, check yourself. Spend more time checking yourself than you check others, and life is going to open up for you. And, fair exchange is no robbery. Just make sure you ain't dealing with some thieves, and check them when you find out that they are. And don't you be no thief. It goes the same way. Don't you be no thief. Fair exchange is no robbery on both sides. Don't you be a thief.
It's a lot of coochie thieves out here. Savita.
That's why they gotta pay for my pretty feet pics before I send them.
You and your feet thing.
Hey, I ain't hurting nobody.
Ain't nothing wrong with that. It ain't nothing wrong with that. Savita.
Yes. I'm just going to say, self-awareness is always important, and just knowing oneself and continuously to grow and love yourself. That's it.
All right. And I always going to say the 3 most important letters in the alphabet, KYP, know your personnel. And I mean, of course, it takes time to establish that, but we know who we dealing with. It don't take that long for people to show, who they are. They give hints. So just be prepared, and whatever you're gonna do, whatever standards, whatever rules you got in place, and if you stand by them, then they'll know, oh, she ain't the one to mess with, or he ain't the one to mess with. And that's the bottom line. If you keep giving different chances, people gonna try you every time, no matter what. Whether it's a child, whether it's a coworker, whether it's a family member, they gonna take advantage of that stuff. So, hey, if you're gonna stand by something, stand by it and live it. So with that said, I appreciate y'all. It was a great show, great conversation. So many different talking points that came out of this. I know for me that stand out, that 4 strike rule win. I gotta follow up with that. We gonna work with that. Yeah, you're gonna see some posts coming through with this one. But I appreciate you all. I appreciate everybody that chimed in on the thread. Shout out to Latoya, the new champion of Can You Solve Herb's Riddle for winning the night. This might have been her first time on here, so keep coming back. And hey, this is what we do. We try to have a good time, good conversation, and real talk, man. Real. You can't make this stuff up. People sharing their personal testimonies and giving it to you how it is. Ain't nothing made up about this. So that's all I got to say. Everybody continue to be safe, stay strong, and do the right thing. And we'll connect, and stay tuned for the watch parties and all the other posts throughout the week. I appreciate
Hey,
you all.
not forget to drop your cash app so you can be properly rewarded.
She gave it to me, so I'll
Okay.
send it to you.
Okay.
All right, so we out, good people. Thank you all, and everybody have a good night. And
Good
again,
night,
stay safe.
everybody.
All right,
All
people.
right. Okay.